Hello children, in the topic ratio and proportion, right now we are studying about continued proportion. You can recall that if there are three non-zero quantities such that A upon B is equal to B upon C, then we say A, B, C are in continued proportion and B is the mean proportion, right? Also C is the third proportion. Now see, let's see another question. Find two numbers whose mean proportion is 16. So if ABC we are talking about, B is 16. And the third proportional is 128. The last number C is 128. But we are talking about only two numbers here, right? So need to understand the language. I shall assume the two numbers as X and Y. Okay. Then when I follow the first condition, whose mean proportion is 16. What do I understand by first condition? Mean proportion of X and Y, right? My numbers are X and Y. So mean proportion of X and Y is what? 16. Now mean proportion, how do we write? Mean proportion square is equal to product of the two numbers. Do you remember that? So what do I get? X into Y is equal to 16 square, right? Because 16 is the mean proportion between X and Y. 16 square means what? 256. Keep it aside. Say first relation. Second is given, the third proportional between X and Y is 128. So third proportional between X and Y is 128. Third proportion is 128 means X is the first number and Y will become what here? Mean proportion. So how will you get? Y square is equal to 128 into X. Is this also clear? Now you have got these two relations. From that you have to find the value of, merge one variable and find the value of other. So here X into Y is equal to 256. This gives me from 1 what I get? From 1. XY is 256. So X will be equal to what, children? 256 upon Y. And you need to put from 1 X is equal to put in, say, second statement. So what do you get here? Y square is equal to 128, and in place of X what you are going to write? 256 upon Y. Shift Y over here, you get Y's cube is equal to 128 into 256. Finding cube root of Y is necessary, so just go for factorization here. 256 you already know is what? 16 into 16. And also you know 16 8s are 128. So this can also be written as 8 into 16. So we have got one cubic factor here, 16, and 8 also you know is a perfect cube. What is the cube root of 8? 2. So very easily you get the number. So if Y's cube is this, Y will be what? Cube root of this, isn't it? Cube root of 8 as 2 cube and 16 cube. Therefore, what do you get? Y equals 2 into 16, that is 32. First value is found, Y is 32. Therefore, you can find the value of X as well. X will be equal to what? 256 upon Y is 32. 256 is what? 16 into 16. 16 into 2. What is the value of X? 8. So our required numbers are what? X and Y. So they are 8 and 32. Such that if you will be finding the mean proportion between 8 and 32, answer will be 16. And if you will be finding the third proportional to 8 and 32, answer will be 128. Followed. Next question you see. If ABC are in continued proportion. You got it? What does it mean? A upon B is equal to B upon C. Then prove that 2a square plus 8ab plus 5b square upon 2b square plus 8bc plus 5c square is equal to A upon C. So how will we do it? First I will mention what is given to us. Given ABC are in continued proportion. You need to write this, are in continued proportion. Therefore, A upon B is equal to B upon C. Thus, B square is equal to AC. Got it? Now, what we will do, since we have to prove, I shall start with left hand side. There I will replace B square is equal to AC. B square is available here, no? So I will replace it with AC. And I shall show that is LHS becomes RHS. That is, my value should come A upon C. So let's see how do we do it. I will start with LHS. What is LHS? Copy only LHS. 2A square plus 8AB plus 5B square. These questions follow certain pattern, so it's very important. Otherwise also always it is important, but for these questions it is very important that you copy them exactly. Similar kind of numbers are seen there. You should not make any mistake, otherwise you will not be able to prove it. Now here I have started with LHS. I have written here put B square is equal to AC. So where I can see B square, that will be replaced by BC. So 2A square as it is, 8AB as it is, and 5B square will become what? AC. Remember, you can think that B is there, why we are not replacing B by root AC. We are simplifying the sum, not making it complicated. B square AC, right? 8BC plus 5C square. Now observe carefully. What you understand here? 2A square, 8AB, 5AC. Remember what we have to prove, that also you have to keep in your mind, na? Numerator should be A, right? And denominator, if you see 2AC, 8BC, 5C square. So definitely you are able to see that A upon C at least is coming out common. Then see what happens. We have to keep checking what we have to prove here. So I will take A common here. So here in the numerator what left? 2A plus 8B plus 5C whole upon, what's common there? I said C. 2A plus 8B plus 5C. So this full expression gets cancelled with this. Yeah. And what is left here is equal to A upon C. That was what? Your RHS. Thus, you have shown LHS is equal to RHS. Hence, you have proved. What you have proved? 2A square plus 8AB plus 5B square upon 2B square plus 8BC plus 5 square is equal to A upon C. Understood? Now see one more example. If ABC are in continued proportion, prove that A plus B plus C into A minus B plus C is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. Okay. Now last question, as we are given similar to that, as we are given ABC are in continued proportion, therefore A upon B is equal to B upon C. This gives us a relation B square is equal to AC. But you see that if you start with one side, then it might go sometimes complicated. So there is one more method we'll go for. You need to observe the question and you need to decide the method. So I will assume, what is this method? K method. In this method, what do I do? Both ratios given, I assume both ratios are equal to some constant K. So what I am assuming here, let A upon B, which is B upon C, is equal to K. Both ratios are equal to K. So what do I get? A upon B equals K. Also B upon C is also K. I want to simplify, so I will express A in terms of B. A is BK. And here what I will get? B is equal to CK. Since B is expressed again in terms of C, so this B also I will replace by CK. So A is equal to B, that is CK, and already K. Did you get it? Therefore A is equal to what? CK square. A and B both are expressed in terms of C and K. This is how it simplifies. Now both sides I shall replace A and B by this values, and I'll see that both sides are equal. So first, side by side, I'll start with left hand side. Left hand side is what? A plus B plus C bracket A minus B plus C. So I am going to put here A is equal to CK square and B is equal to CK. Then what happened? A is CK square plus CK plus C, first bracket, CK square minus CK plus C. What is C in common? Both brackets C is common. So from here when I take C common, what left? K square plus K plus 1, right? Here again C common, K square minus K plus 1, C into C, C square. Now look at the remaining two bracket. K square plus K plus 1, K square minus K plus 1. You need to multiply. That is, you can split up it in threes and multiply the second bracket. But if you observe carefully, you can use a shortcut also. Like if you combine K square plus 1 plus K, reshuffle, this will become K square plus 1 minus K. So are you understanding? We can express it as A plus B, A minus B pattern. So I will reshuffle the term. See, nothing. Instead of K square plus K plus 1, I am writing it as K square plus 1 plus K. Order is changed. And here also K square plus 1 minus K. But by doing so, what has happened? You can think it like that way. A plus B and A minus B. So A plus B into A minus B, you know what it is? A square minus B square. So keep C square as it is. Here you get A square means what? K square plus 1 minus B square. B square is what? K square, right? Further, when you simplify it, you get C square. Inside here you get K square plus 1 the whole square, that is A plus B the whole square. What is the formula? A square plus 2AB plus B square. So A square means K square square, right? K4 plus 2AB, 2 K square 1. So 2K square plus B square, that is 1 square 1 minus this is what, k square, right? So you get finally c square k4 as it is 2k square minus k square plus k square plus 1. This is what our left hand side has come. Okay, now start with right hand side. What was our right hand side? A square plus b square plus c square. What you have observed here, that further we cannot simplify it. This is the most simplified form. So leave it as it is, and now see what happens to the right hand side. Right hand side is a square plus b square plus c square. So here also what are we going to do? We are going to put a equal to what we have assumed as ck square and b is equal to ck. So on doing so, what you get, in place of a we are putting ck square, and a square will be the square of this, right? Use brackets, be careful, powers etc. you need to take care. In place of b we are writing ck, but it is b square, so we are writing the whole square, and plus c square as it is. Now work out with this. This will be what? Squaring ck square, right? So what will it become? C square k raised to 4 plus c square k square plus c square. So what is common here now? C square only. Here no terms, only c square you can take common. Take c square common. What left? k4 plus k square plus 1. Now see, look at what was left hand side, c square k raised to 4 plus k square plus 1. This is also c square k raised to 4 plus k square plus 1. So what you have shown? LHS is equal to RHS, that is proved. What method it was, children? K method. I have given you two methods. Either you can use the property b square is equal to AC, and if you feel that that is going to make your thing complicated, you can also use K method there. Now in today's class I will only start with the properties of proportion. Okay, we have to do a lot about it. At least today we will start it, so that tomorrow we can work on this, and you need to understand and learn them. Okay, properties of proportion. There are some properties we are going to study in this class. When these properties are applied, when you are given any proportion. So if you are given A, B, C, D are in proportion. Okay, so if A, B, C, D are in proportion, what does it mean? A upon B is equal to C upon D. This is the general understanding we have. So there comes the first property. The name of that property is invertendo. Okay, what is that property invertendo? That if A upon B, everywhere I am going to use this, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then the property invertendo says that B upon A, see I have inverted this ratio, B upon A, this will also be the same, D upon C. Simple invertendo property. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then B upon A will also be equal to D upon C. Second property is alternando. What is that alternando property? Again, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then this property tells you then A upon C, what has happened? B and C are exchanged, will be equal to B upon D. Did you get? If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then A upon C will also be equal to B upon D. These two terms are getting exchanged here. The third property, important property, is componendo. In componendo, I'll show you how it comes. Okay. In componendo, the property is actually, we are given A upon B is equal to C upon D. Supposing if I add 1 to both sides, what will happen? I will get this b plus 1 b 1 multiplied by b, na, it will be, so it will be what, a plus b upon b is equal to c plus d, use of LCM, upon d. Yes, this property is known as componendo. So what is componendo property? In short, if a upon b is equal to c upon d, then a plus b upon b will be equal to c plus d upon d. Okay, next property, fourth property, dividendo. In place of addition, in place of adding plus 1 to this proportion, if I subtract 1, what will I get? A minus b upon b is equal to c minus d upon d. That is our property. What is that? Dividendo. So what is dividendo? Again, for everything we have to assume a upon b is equal to c upon d. These properties are applicable only when the quantities are in proportion. So what dividendo is telling you? A minus b upon b is equal to c minus d upon d. As simple. Numerator minus denominator, that is what you have to remember. And how to use that in next class I am going to explain only. Very important it is. Now, if these two, the result of componendo a plus b upon b is equal to c plus d upon d, and a result of dividendo a minus b upon b is equal to c minus d upon d. If I divide these two results by each other, then I get a property, say componendo dividendo. What is that property? Both denominators will be cancelled, right? So property will be, if a upon b is equal to c upon d, then a plus b upon a minus b is equal to c plus d upon c minus d. Okay, just try to understand how they are obtained. Try to remember the name. As we do the application of that, obviously you are going to remember them very easily, and that we shall see in next period. Okay.